wild card. Geordie Smith got himself to the semis, and we'll see how Luke Thompson.
Well, Sean Holmes back in the day.
Oh, Sean Holmes was a dream wrecker for the world's best, chasing title points. But here goes Italo on his first ride.
Beautiful stuff here on the back end. And again, he picks this wave because it had all that water moving into that inside section. And generally, that's where the money section is. It's going to be closer onto the rocks, right in front of the judges, too. That's where the steepest part of the wave is going to be. That's where the barrels are. This one didn't really load up too good for him, though. I mean, there was that one moment on the outside section, but now it seems to steepen up here. And beautiful float to finish.
Well, welcome back to the show. Overlapping heats here today. Day 3 of the event window, day 2 of competition. As Italo Ferreira, the 2019 world champion, takes on the wild card, Luke Thompson, the South African from Durban. So strong in the opening round. Didn't get the win, though. Was overtaken by Jack Robinson in the dying stages of their clash. But he has looked very solid. He's been right on point. And we heard Sean Thompson talking about the connectivity. Well, this guy found it yesterday, and he's tapped straight back into that same zone on his opening ride here this morning, Pete.
We love it. You know, a big heat for Luke. Again, another one of those surfers is surfing one of the biggest heats of his life right now as a youngster up against Italo Ferreira. You know, it's unfortunate for Luke on this outside section that he wasn't really able to get any maneuvers done. It was just more weaving and setting it up. So really all of the points are going to come from this section here where he snaps underneath it. Good technique in the stall. Not ultra deep, but technical in the way that he was able to weave through that section. This is going to be a great angle here. The snap into it, stalling. But then he has to pump up into it. Nicely done there, because that was a good speed control.
Getting 1 or 2 or 3 maneuvers in, you know, you're doing like 8 or 10 maneuvers.
We've got Italo up at the moment, and he had a 4.33 on his first wave. Second place here to Gabriel Medina in 2019. Last time we were here. Prior to that, hadn't really had any big results to speak of, but he's figured it out. He's worked out the puzzle that is Jeffreys Bay. He knows where to put the pieces now. And he is linking this one through to the inside. This guy grew up on a sand bottom right-hand point break. Doesn't get this big very often, but it's just allowed him to kind of work out a repertoire on his backhand that he can bring to these long walls, Pete. And this is going to be a great score. He has hammered this ride, start to finish. Huge turns. There's the fist pump, and he is loving it, and for good reason.
He's really managing to really throw it over with no sort of no hesitation and just sort of raw power. Some of those off-the-top carves that he does are just so beautiful and so forceful and so fast, and there's no hesitation at all, just full-on raw power.
I think he was a little unlucky that this wave didn't load up as much. I mean, right here is where it starts to get steep again, but it didn't. The whole ride, he had to kind of move through these sections to find these moments. But man, when he got the moments, he just went. This one was a beautiful turn there. This was these 2-turn combo here. I mean, straight up vertical.
But it's great to see that he sort of got this exuberance and radical flair along with that courage. And out the back we have Luke there from young South African from Durban. Let's see what he can do on this wave.
Yeah, nice hook in the pocket to get started. And this wall, unfortunately, just looks like it's going to flatten out and not make that connection through to Super Tubes. So he'll head back out there. But let's bring Strider into the conversation. He's out the back on the back of the Rebel ski there.
Drain through onto the Impossibles is what we used to call the end section. So let's see what they can do on this baby.
Well, it's a big wave. He's way down the line already, so we'll see if this one actually makes that connection right through past Impossibles potentially. He's just on the attack. This wave has a good pace to it at the moment. Already let go of some decent turns, trying to get rid of a 4.33. Last ride came just under the excellent range, 7.67. Big steep section here, belts it, and he pumps the fist. And he knows that he's probably going to be improving on his heat score total at the moment, and really starting to turn the heat up on the young wildcard when they're going so fast in this lineup, and you find those moments to actually express yourself between the big critical maneuvers, and Felipe Toledo's probably the best at it at the moment.
Yeah. Hey, Strider, you were out there. Where was this wave in relation to the main peak where you're scoring waves?
Italo just did the biggest gouge that I've seen, and the ski drive, the wave was so big that he jumped over to the side. Back, and I was just like looking at this turn right up in the hook, right above me. I just like, it was glorious. And the wave was all the way down past what they called Salads, which is a whole nother part of the reef. And then the next wave broke even further down and way outside. And I'm seeing right now, I'm looking at Italo. He's probably 100 yards away from me, down the point, still paddling back out. And the sweep and the current and everything out here is just radical how much water's moving. So
really versatile surf in all sorts of conditions, loves the tube. Managing to get some cover on the inside to open up his heat. Meanwhile, here goes Thompson, smooth as you like. We saw flashes of brilliance from him yesterday. He was actually pretty unlucky not to get through that heat. It was close for first. And again here with the heat on his hands, taking on Italo Ferreira. He'll just try and pace this one and be patient. He mentioned yesterday on the broadcast he did spend a month down here last year just practicing on this wave, getting to know it better for his career. Not sure how much he would have been able to say back then that he'd be here surfing in the CT against a world champion Ferreira right now. He's got himself a good looking inside section, more good hooking work off the top. And he'll go down. And not loads of returns on the inside. Meanwhile, Ferreira, backhand attack from him, and he looks sharp and dialed in this morning. He's got that kind of measured pace between his maneuvers. And on that particular wave, it just pushes a little wide and goes flat. Italo will flick out.
You know, traveling with, you know, his whole crew and a big team, and all of the Brazilian Storm just, you know, vibing off each other. So it is a different Italo, and I think that win is close.
Here he is in live action, gets a big chunk of lip on his first turn, a little redirect for the second, and he will set up here with some S-ing down the line, just waiting for this thing to get steep. He'll go into the lip. Already got good scores under his belt here. That's 7.67, his high number. And a little bit of downtime on this as he'll be patient. It's really cool to see from the water angle. You get a really good sense of how dynamic this wave is. And just as we say that, Italo just arriving a little late to the lip, slightly underdoes it with the maneuver, and he'll go down.
Yeah, it really seems like some of the waves out here today, if you don't pick the right one, they just do have that downtime and that bit of a lump through them. I'm barely having to jump out here for Luke Thompson.
In the priority heat, Thompson, the 18-year-old from Durban, lays into a carve, lays a little hard into it. And the 2019 world champ with a little bit to do at the moment. We're looking at live action from him right here as he hits one nicely off the top. Little sectional drop, have to be patient. Clears the water out of his eyes and then goes into the lip. And this section here standing up really sweetly. A beautiful turn there from Luke Thompson. Really nicely done again. Just rips one down off the top. And this wall just offering up endless possibilities for him. Another really nice, powerful control turn at speed. Hook in the pocket. Does have good variety on these forehand turns. We saw that throughout his heat yesterday. And a much better way from him here. Just 18 years old, surfing against a former world champ. And he has ripped this thing to bits, and right at the end there, gets a little bit exploded on the landing. Electric on the maneuvers. Can't wait for that one. This is another look here at Luke Thompson.
Yeah, can't wait to see the replay of this. I just feel like he surfed it so well. Just had to get around that little section, but bashing off the lip there and throwing so much spray. A little bobble there, but just managed to hang on. And big whipping wrap there. I just feel like he knows exactly where to place his board and his turns out here at J-Bay. Up here into the pocket, little carve down, waiting for this to line up, but I think he just got some epic work done. He's going to be back in this heat for sure. He's got a huge paddle ahead of him, but Luke Thompson just waiting for this one to line up, and he went to town on the inside too. If he could have finished that off, I think he would have gone excellent.
He will bow out of competition at this stage. He's come up against one of the all-time greats in Italo Ferreira. He surfed really, really well, and another bright future for another ripper out of South Africa.
Yeah, what a showing by Luke Thompson there. He could hold his head high, and you know, crowd favourite, absolutely shredding. But Italo Ferreira just happy to get through that elimination round.